So I'm wondering what is the stage that the project is at?
We're actually in development stage right now, working on finishing our MVP, and we should be releasing the beta around late June for testing.
What is
MVP?
Yeah.
Our most viable product. So the basic product, how the product itself would look, because it's an application.
So how complete is the application?
How complicated is it?
No, I mean at what stage? Is it building?
Yes, it's in development.
How many members are in your crew?
We have 2 developers, and I have my chief of channels.
So the 2 developers are they just English?
Ronit Rudra and Kevin Williams.
Yeah. So are they also blockchain experts?
Not necessarily experts, but they are definitely enthusiasts.
So how is this platform gonna utilize blockchain?
Basically, how we utilize blockchain is overall what Equity Network does, we create EQIT, which is a web and app work platform where we validate skills and we build teams to assess to make sure that more projects and businesses succeed. So that's what we do with the blockchain. We solidify and verify skills, and as we solidify and verify those skills for each user, we reward them for those skills as well.
How do you verify the skills?
We have different non-for-profit partners, small businesses that offer different tasks to be done.
Can you tell me how many this kind of small business partners do you have?
At this moment, we have 5 businesses that we're going to start with as far as offering opportunities, but it's going to be an open source. No, they're small businesses, just like
what can you raise some examples?
Urban, Chicago, After School Matters, Chicago State University. Columbia College.
So did you sign contracts with them, or how does this work?
No, we don't sign contracts as a beta. Once you go public, that's when you sign contracts. We're not public right now.
So this 4, and what is the other one?
The last one was actually a studio, and I forgot the name of the studio. It's an artist studio. I have to get back to you on that name.
Okay. Artist studio. So basically...
Blue Lacuna. Blue Lacuna was the name of it.
How do you spell it?
Blue.
Blue.
B-L-U-E. Lacuna. L-A-C-U-A-N. N-A. Oh, yeah. Lacuna.
So they are those provide verification for the skills? Or
No, the application actually verifies the skills. What these businesses do are basically offer opportunities to do gigs. So it's like gig economy. So if I was a non-for-profit or a small business that needed a new logo, that needed
a freelancing job,
yes,
part-time.
Yes.
So how many opportunities are they going to offer, and what kind of opportunities?
It's really no limit to how many opportunities they can offer, but initially once it launches, they will all offer up for a new logo to be made and for a sample website to be made. Just to get the users to test it out, just to build the traction. Once the traction builds and we have stabilization of our shares coin, then it will be more viable.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused with the digital currency that you're going to launch.
Shares.
Yeah, the shares. So it's SHRS. How did you come up with this name?
Shares.
Yeah, I mean, how did you come up with it? Why
Shares.
Did you name it like this?
I named it Shares because just in the community itself, especially Chicago, we're very separated. I don't want to say segregated. So in essence of that, our motto is to share the experience. And if I could use this to put that in people's subconscious, to share every time they feel good, share. When something happens, when they find a new opportunity to share.
Abbreviation of share?
Yes.
Okay. And how does this digital currency work? Is it like cryptocurrency?
Yes.
So could you explain more like when we will launch it and how is it like who decides its value? How is the value determined?
The value is determined by the growth in the system. That's why it's called social capital. So, more users we have, the more opportunities we're able to offer. The value is kind of set on that basis. Like we actually started off working with the Government Blockchain Association to establish my coin to be 12 cents to start.
Who decided? Is the government, the
Yeah.
association? They kind of like vet this. They kind of did they? Like, are you still in the process of negotiating this done?
No, it's gonna be 12 cents to start.
Yeah.
Like
how,
that's-
how did they decide? What are the factors?
The basic concept of how they decided was the direction that my program or my project was going in.
Mm-hmm.
They actually wanted me to do non-for-profit, but since I'm for-profit, to actually source the fund back to the community, that's how they came up with that status. How, whatever incremental understanding they had on it, that's what they gave me as a response. I actually just wanted it to be where,
Higher.
yeah, actually higher, but I wanted it to be to where, you know how most companies do ICOs, and as your ICO grow, your price grows. I don't want to do an ICO because in Chicago, especially in the United States itself, you have a community of people that are left out of the crypto world. So in lieu of that, I want to do more so events, in real life experiences, basically getting people together, creating icebreakers, breaking stigmas, and actually getting people of different cultures together to just actually share. And as they pay for their experience, we tokenize part of that purchase and we send it to their wallet. So instead of them having a typical ICO where you're online, you're looking for a coin to buy, and you buy all these coins and you're waiting for a return, this will be to where, okay, it's not about the return in essence, it's about the experience and the opportunity, but the return is just a reciprocal appreciation of the experience itself.
But how to measure the appreciation in experience?
Right now is based on experience rate and how long you take to complete the task. So each task, 9 times out of 10, will have a time limit by the provider. So if you complete the task,
by this organization.
yes. So if you complete the task on time, each certification will be 10 tokens. But if you don't complete it on time, it will be 5 tokens.
So are these tasks already designed, or still to be?
The task would be provided by a business that needs something done. It would be basic task management for a business, and for the user, it's skill development and career growth.
So these tasks are not standardized tasks. More customized.
They would be custom to STEAM, which would be science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So they would be placed in those different interest categories, and the brands would basically funnel or streamline referrals that way. So the opportunities are created by the business. So if I was a business that needed A through Z for my business, I'd offer that to the users of EQ to be completed. You know what I mean?
What is the EQ?
EQ. Yep.
It's the same name with your app.
Yes, the app is EQ. The company's Equity Network, and the app is EQ. EQ basically like the emotional quantification.
So on this app, what are the functions that you provide?
We streamline referrals to businesses. Users are actually able to find skill development opportunities and gain new work opportunities as well, whether it be non-for-profit, small business, or a corporate partner. We have one-on-one mentor video calls. We do educational events, networking events. We have a marketplace where people can buy merchandise. So basically, it's like, I would say, LinkedIn and Tinder in the same app.
And so, skill and work and one-on-one mentor event for education and or internet marketplace.
Yep.
So these are the major sectors on the website.
Yes.
And all of these services are provided by this and also open source partners.
Yes.
This on your website is kind of vague, you know?
Yeah.
I cannot figure what does that mean. And so what is the standard ERC20?
The standard ERC20 token, that's the basic token that any brand can use to create a cryptocurrency. So most crypto or blockchain companies, they use a cryptic node called SHA-286, which is the same node that they use for direct deposit or any bank transaction. But that's what we basically use to timestamp, to certify the skills, and reward the users for that impact.
What is the one that you just mentioned? The name of the currency?
SHA-286, the cryptic node,
SHA-286.
286.
So this is like a standardized token?
That's a regular standardized cryptic node that they use for any bank transaction.
So what's the difference between this and
ERC20 deals with the crypto world. This deals with the actual centralized world, like regular banks, regular jobs.
okay.
That's actually the same code that they use for the regular direct deposit system. Is the same code that they use for Bitcoin.
So this code is that universally used
Yes.
in Bitcoin.
Yes.
But what's the difference between share and Bitcoin? So why you're gonna launch a new currency rather than just use Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies?
They're governized. Anything dealing with, excuse me for being frank on this side, but anything dealing with the people of color has been governized and centralized. I felt the need to create something of our own, especially seeing how the rest of the world is leveraging the technology in a means to where it doesn't really suffice any problems or solve any problems. This is going to be a universal solution to create opportunities for people that may not have seen opportunity in their future.
Could you be more specific? What
Meaning,
do you mean
like,
by that
okay,
they are governized?
if I was to use a Bitcoin, if a person doesn't have a job or an opportunity to gain a job, the government can say I can't give it to them.
But Bitcoin is also decentralized.
And to a certain extent. To a certain extent.
But how can governments?
Meaning like this, okay, you don't have a job in the United States of America corporation. Okay, so whatever you're doing in the crypto world has to be filed as a tax, especially if you're doing anything with a Bitcoin. If you're not known to be a citizen that's able to have these opportunities to have this type of money, that's jail time.
So you mean there are registration
Yeah,
that require them to meet certain standard in order to acquire Bitcoin?
I guess that's what you would call it, a certain standard to be able to acquire a Bitcoin, but that's just typical governance to say that a group of people aren't able to do certain things.
So for the live ICO, when is the scheduled time?
We're actually shooting to do one next month. It's called Engage 2K, 5K rather. It's going to be a 5K run and after party. June 22nd.
So this is an event's name.
Yes.
Engage 5K.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Engage meaning engage,
Yeah.
5K meaning 5K run and after party. So we're going to actually be starting at 4 o'clock at Jackson Park, and we're going to end at 7 o'clock at the 31st Harbor,
Which date?
June 22nd.
And how many funds do you expect to raise at that event?
I have about 150 tickets sold now. So,
Already sold?
yeah,
Oh, and what is the price of the ticket?
the price,
Yes.
$20 for adults and $12 for teens.
Oh. Where can I find this information?
It should be on the Facebook page, yes. It should be on the Equity Network Facebook page.
And And then how does this work? The live ICO.
Okay, so basically everybody that signs in and buys a ticket, we get their email address, we get their name and their number. So when we do our airdrop, we send them the tokens and then we send them the access to their wallet through our company.
So did you already decide how many tokens to are
Everybody gets 10.
Oh, okay. So they don't know if they want more. They don't want more.
You can't buy more because what we're doing is like not like the rest of the world. I feel like when you create something, you don't do it like somebody else does it. You do it how you would do it. You do it in a way that you see would help people, not to where you can help your pocket. So, and what I'm doing is I'm making it centralized so nobody feels left out, so nobody feels as if there's an imbalance. It's going to be an equal structure to where everybody that's involved can get a piece of the equity. That's why the name of the company is Equity Network.
So 10 tokens, what is the value?
10 tokens at 12 cents, $1.20. Upon the start of the company. So upon launch, it will be $1.20. But once we roll into it and we build more users, once we hit about 100,000 users, that will be 100 times itself.
And so now have you already done the VC building period? The VC investment.
Okay, what
period?
about it?
Have you already done it? Because I saw the roadmap, so you should already have done that period.
As far as like VC builds, I built relationships with 7 venture partners, equity firms, and angels that are on my team. As far as asking raise, I'm really not interested in asking raise to open up equity for my company right now.
So what does that mean? Asking raise for the equity?
Meaning, when you do a VC build, you have to give up portion of your company, equity in your company. It's not necessarily that I don't want to do that. I have to make sure that the relationships of these people that are investing in my company are investing in my community. And if it's not about my community, I wouldn't want the money.
But how do you differentiate whether they are investing in your company or
In the person's response and being involved in what's going on. Because it's going to be so many limitless experiences and engagements. If they can come out and build community with the community, then I could be open to appreciate it more and offer some equity.
But I mean, if their investment are injected to the building of this whole project, they are helping this community even if they don't come out.
No, some people invest into things to actually change things. Because once you have buying power and equity power, you have saying power too.
Yeah, and then there will be like board of directors.
Yeah.
So
And
how are you gonna structure your team?
actually, I'm gonna have advisors, not a board of directors or anything. I really don't see that as a means. That's really what I'm going away from allowing the investment right now. Because most investors, when they invest with $100,000 or more, they want to be part of the board, and I'm really not interested in that.
These 7 venture, the VC partners and the equity funds, how are they involving if they are not investing?
They're actually working with us to create experiences and bringing in resources. So as far as like partnerships with different media networks, partnerships with global blockchain companies. I actually just got invited out to the Malta Blockchain Summit and the Global Blockchain Summit in Singapore. So those were just through relationship basis from my VCs.
So they are not investing. You are not getting funds.
Investment doesn't have to deal with finances. Vesting is time.
Yeah. So it, apart from this relationship building, what are other collaboration forms?
Well, I mean, I'm a young guy, 27, from the south side of Chicago. I doubt somebody from Malta knew about me just from me. It had to been through the relationship that I had with the VC, which it was.
So the only funding source of this project is gonna be the ICO, live ICO.
Live ICOs. We actually have our own working capital as well,
What is one?
but we're not really open to the equity right now. Working capital means we have capital of our own right now. So
Are
that's
they
how.
from the founders?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we have capital on our own as far as like building development and actually organizing our experiences as well, because everything has a price to it.
Yeah.
So-
So how much funds do you have as a working capital? I mean, how much money do you have in this fund? Like a money pool that you can build up. From?
Well, it's not a money pool, rather it's pretty much me and my founder have bank accounts that we saved up, and we're using those to finance things that need to be done before we go public, pretty much.
So what before you go publish, how much do you expect to publish, including the one that you gather in the live
Right
ICO?
now, before we actually go public with our beta, probably 20,000, if that, just to finish the app.
So now is the beta period, and after the beta, what is the next step?
After the beta,
Yeah.
once the beta builds traction, we just do R&D and we launch. What?
How long will R&D period?
It depends on how many quirks we have. That depends on what goes on during traction. It could be a month. It could be 2. It could be a half a year. It could be a year. But it just really depends on the quirks. We've actually been in development since January, so we're really taking some time to just really nip the bud on it instead of just launching something to see what people like and then go with it. We're just gonna have something that we feel is good enough to almost be public as the beta, so people can put their hands on it, use it. If they like it, give us some feedback, do the R&D, which we're looking for it to be less than a month. That's what we're hoping. That's why we're taking so long to release the beta.
You're looking forward to what? Less than a month
Yeah.
to.
Like we really don't, with what we're doing, we really don't see it being a need to stop anything during R&D. R&D is going to be like an everyday process. You know what I mean? So as far as like we release the beta, we shut it down for a month, and then we launch it back with something fresh. That's the only ideal in essence that we're looking at. But as far as like any longevity, any long-term R&D, that's going to be like something that's going on while the app's open.
So during the month that is the beta is closed, so this 1 month is the R&D. But you said you're not sure how long that will last for.
As far as like having a standard, like okay, any other app that's out now, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they go through R&D throughout the year, but your phone updates it on its own. There's no time for it to not be public or published for them to do R&D. We're only going to do that for a month because we need to keep the momentum build that we need. You know what I mean? Once we start traction, since it's going to deal with gig economy and an underserved community initially, we definitely need to focus on having it published and not unpublished.
Could you explain more on the traction?
Traction, momentum, meaning users building.
But what is traction?
Traction would mean how the app builds, the awareness of the app, the users and the providers that
But how
sign up to the app.
How can it be built before it's open to the public?
That's what the beta is. Once people use the beta,
So how many users will you include in the beta testing?
pretty much everybody that comes to our ICO events.
Oh, so it's like
Everybody that comes to the ICO events literally gets a email or a text of the app. They get their 10
So
tokens.
everything will start from there.
Yeah.
Next month. So they're getting to the beta. And
Well, no, they don't get the beta at the app, at the event. They get the email of the beta when the beta's open.
And then the traction starts?
Yeah.
Is that,
You have to have the app first.
I know it's complicated for me. I'm sorry.
No problem.
How does it use AI?
So basically, it uses AI to funnel the opportunities to the user. So with it being Steam, you'll have different interests of your own. So it will find the closest interest to what you're looking for. So if you're looking for something in art, you may not be a specific artist, but you may be a graphic designer, but you may be a content creator, you may be a person that does public relations. Those all deal with art in a certain term. So it will kind of funnel the opportunities to you in the means of the interest that you place into the app.
Okay, so that's basically serve as a matching process.
Yes, the matching process to find the opportunities.
And the utilization of blockchain is just basically the verification of skills.
Yes.
But you said it is through the test, the Eclipse. How does it work?
What do you mean?
How does blockchain involve in the Eclipse testing process? The verification of skills.
Because it's time stamped, it's immutable, they can see it, it's real, it's there, and then we reward them for that. So the same way that they use Steemit, and it's Facebook on the blockchain, so I just make a share and it's on the blockchain, we do it a little bit better.
Who is mining? Who is mining?
Nobody, there's no mining experience in this. That what you're talking about would be a proof of work concept. We're not dealing with mining. We're dealing with building social capital on the means of affirming opportunities for people.
So is the blockchain recording something?
The blockchain records and certifies the task. Timestamps.
So it's like everyone who did the task, who does the task, will be their result will be recorded in the block.
Yes.
And then it will be added up to each other, and then build up this chain.
Yes.
But why do you want to use blockchain to achieve this?
Because in a community that I come from, I'm part of a problem, and I'm gonna create I'm gonna create a solution for that problem. It's been a historic thing to where businesses don't really support diversity, and you really don't see diversity. So in the means of us affirming that, we are creating a way to make sure that they know that these people in this community have these skills, can use these skills, and we open the door for them to source the opportunity to hire them through our system. And affirming that through the blockchain, through history, people will see that, and it will be a known, so nobody could tell you something different. So nobody could actually tell you that, okay, we didn't know that these people had these skills, so we didn't hire these people. Well, we have a list of these people's skills. Like, say this, the typical situation where you go to an interview or a job fair, or hell, you may just be emailing your resume to a business. That really doesn't break down Janam. It doesn't tell them who you are. It's just a bunch of words together to hopefully display exactly what you want to tell them. So instead of that, we affirm the opportunities, the tasks that you do in the local network. So hopefully, let's say a 30-day to 60-day quarter, the businesses can actually see what you did in 30 to 60 days in your local network. So now that's really better than the resume that you may have been working for a job for years, but as far as them knowing what you're really capable of, they really wouldn't know unless they called the job to ask you amongst how many thousands of people. Now with the blockchain, we can affirm those actual skills, those actual tasks that you actually completed. They see those skills, you have the points for them, you're able to reach out to different mentors in the industry, you're able to purchase tickets for educational events. Now it's something that creates a sense